Africa is often referred to as the cradle of humanity, the birthplace of humankind, where our earliest ancestors first emerged and began their long journey across the globe. Yet despite this pivotal role in our collective past, for most of human history, Africa has remained largely unknown, unexplored, and unappreciated by the rest of the world. That is until the age of exploration, when Europeans began to venture into the unknown, unearthing the riches and potential of this vast continent. However, instead of treating the African people with dignity and respect, they were enslaved and colonized. As the 20th century dawned, most of Africa was still under colonial rule, exploited for its resources, and denied basic rights and freedoms. But then something remarkable happened. One by one, African nations began to break free from their colonial chains, declaring independence and setting out on a new path towards self-determination and progress. By the end of the century, only a handful of territories remained under colonial control, and today, Africa stands as a beacon of hope for the rest of the world, proving that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, freedom and prosperity can prevail. But what if this wasn't the case? What if Africa was never colonized by European powers? Let's find out. But before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing videos. Also, a big shout out to all the supporters who have supported us. You have no idea how much it means to us. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to the video. If Africa had not been colonized, the course of world history might have been vastly different. Without the transatlantic trade and the scramble for Africa, Europe might not have industrialized as quickly or at all, leading to a world where Asia and the Americas dominate global affairs. The Industrial Revolution sparked by European colonization of the Americas might have occurred later or in a different part of the world. Imagine a scenario where Asian or African innovations drive technological advancements. The world could be vastly different. The presence of Islam in sub-Saharan Africa, potentially spreading throughout the continent, may have led to a substantial Muslim population, altering religious demographics and global power dynamics. Conversely, without European missionaries, Christianity might not have taken root as it did in South Africa and certain other regions. This could have significant implications for religious conflicts and alliances throughout history. By the late 19th century, Africa was on the brink of colonization by European powers. However, there's a possibility that African resistance and diplomacy have prevented this outcome. If African leaders had united, forming strong alliances and employing effective strategies against European encroachment, they might have successfully safeguarded their independence. Imagine a scenario where African kingdoms and communities resist colonization, either through military force or strategic diplomacy, forcing European powers to seek resources and markets elsewhere. In such a case, the scramble for Africa might have never occurred, leaving the continent free to develop along its own path. Ethiopia and Liberia successfully resisted colonization, showcasing the possibility of safeguarding independence. Had other African nations followed suit or collaborated more closely, the outcome could have been different. It's conceivable that without external pressures, African societies would have continued to flourish. Diverse cultures, languages, and traditions could have thrived, contributing to a rich tapestry of civilizations. Furthermore, Africa's vast natural resources might have been harnessed for the benefit of local populations, fostering economic growth and improved living standards without the exploitation associated with colonization. In this alternate timeline, imagine a scenario where African innovations and inventions take center stage. Without European influence, African scientists, engineers, and inventors could have developed groundbreaking technologies, potentially transforming various industries and aspects of daily life. From advancements in agriculture to transportation and medicine, African ingenuity might have led to innovations that shape global progress. For instance, consider the development of ironworking technology in sub-Saharan Africa. Without European interference, African societies could have further refined ironworking techniques, creating tools and weapons that enhance productivity, defense, and trade. Advanced ironworking might have facilitated the expansion of African empires and the flourishing of local economies. Furthermore, advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and architecture could have flourished in an independent Africa. African scholars might have made significant contributions to scientific knowledge, including breakthroughs in geometry, algebra, and celestial navigation. These advancements could have practical applications in engineering, agriculture, and trade, as well as theoretical implications for broader scientific understanding. Additionally, without European influence, African architectural styles might have reached new heights. African architects could have designed innovative building techniques and structures, showcasing the beauty and functionality of local materials and aesthetics. These architectural achievements could have become renowned throughout the world, attracting admiration and study from other cultures. Education and intellectual pursuits could have thrived in a non-colonized Africa, fostering the growth of universities, libraries, and centers of learning. African scholars might have made significant contributions to various fields, including history, literature, philosophy, and the arts. The absence of European interference could have allowed for the preservation and transmission of indigenous knowledge systems, ensuring that traditional practices and wisdom are passed down to future generations. Moreover, in the absence of European influence, African languages could have developed and flourished, potentially giving rise to influential literary works, philosophical treatises, and artistic expressions. African literature could have enriched the global literary landscape, offering unique perspectives and narratives that challenge European perspectives. Economic development could have taken diverse paths in a post-colonial Africa. Without European exploitation of resources, Africa might have pursued its own economic policies and partnerships, potentially leading to different trade networks and alliances. African societies could have leveraged their natural resources to build thriving industries and infrastructure, fostering internal growth and development. For example, sub-Saharan Africa's abundant mineral resources could have been utilized to establish local mining and manufacturing industries, providing employment opportunities and driving economic progress. Similarly, Africa's agricultural potential could have been harnessed to feed its growing population and generate export revenue, reducing reliance on European markets and fostering self-sufficiency. In this alternate timeline, imagine a scenario where African nations forged diplomatic alliances and partnerships with other non-European countries. African nations might have formed strong diplomatic ties with countries such as India, China, Japan, and the Americas, creating a network of allies that support their interests and promote global cooperation. These alliances could have provided a platform for African voices to be heard on the global stage, challenging European dominance and promoting more equitable international relations. Additionally, these partnerships might have opened up new trade routes and economic opportunities, allowing African nations to access wider markets and resources. Imagine a world where African goods and services are valued and sought after by a broader range of countries, contributing to the continent's economic growth and diversification. Moreover, in this alternate timeline, African participation in international organizations and institutions could have been more significant. African leaders could have played prominent roles in shaping global policies and decision-making processes, advocating for interests, and promoting collaboration among nations. The presence of African perspectives in international affairs could have led to more inclusive and equitable solutions to global challenges. In conclusion, a world where Africa is not colonized is a testament to the continent's resilience, potential, and capacity to shape global history. By exploring this alternate timeline, we gain a deeper appreciation for the challenges faced by African societies during the era of colonization. We recognize the strength and agency of African peoples in resisting external forces and charting their own course toward progress and prosperity. Africa's journey in this alternate timeline highlights the importance of preserving cultural heritage, embracing diversity, and ensuring equitable opportunities for all. It serves as a reminder that every voice and perspective has value in shaping our world. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts on what you would change about Africa's history. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.